pretty excited today. We're going to invite new partner to the show. They build surface types for all sports, hard-painted tennis and pickleball and even Olympic sand volleyball courts. A friend of mine, I've used these folks before. Let's welcome on Dale Hendrickson, SportsWest Construction. And Dale, thanks for being a part of the show and jumping on.
Fred, so good to be with you again.
Okay, Dale and I have known each other a long time. And he did something for us years ago at our home in Calabasas, and it really kind of changed our family's life. And you go, well, how could that be? What did he do? Was he a doctor? No, he's not a doctor. Well, maybe to a degree he's a doctor. Doctor of enjoyment, doctor of memories. Dale runs SportsWest Construction, and that is Southern California's largest sport court builder. And, you know, when we first talked years ago, we were talking about what we wanted, and it really did change our family, Dale. So I'm not being overdramatic, am I?
No, you're not. I've been in the business a long time, Fred. I've built about 15,000 courts in Southern California. And what it does, you take a space about a half, well, less than a half, maybe a third the size of a tennis court, and you make it a multi-purpose court. You can play about a dozen different sports and games. I've always been referenced as, you know, Mr. Sport Court, but we also build what I call backyard memories, right? Because now you're creating an environment where it's in the solitude of your backyard, where you're watching your kids and your family, and it's in your backyard instead of someone else's backyard where you don't know what they're doing. But we offer a really high premium surface system, hoops, lights, adjustable net. And what you can do is you can play basketball, pickleball, badminton, volleyball, short court tennis, roller hockey. We have a rebounder you can play. So there's about a dozen different sports and games you can play on one court. It doesn't take up much space.
Dale Hendrickson is with us. He is in charge of SportsWest Construction. They are SoCal's largest sport court builder. So I can tell you from personal experience, when you put the one in Calabasas, and I think it's important for people to realize the people, the customer, you're in charge. You go to Dale and you tell his folks what you want, and they design what you want. And if you remember, Dale, we had the big LA Kings logo on a basketball court.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's the beauty about it, Fred, is we engage the customer and we help them build this project custom to their wants and desires, right? And I can say, even though I've built that many courts, I can honestly say no two are alike, because there's different sizes and shapes and colors, and they customize it where they'll put a fun logo on that's, whether it be their favorite team or their business or their high school, or, you know, you can get colors that match their house or blend with the landscaping. Have us sit down with each client. We can kind of run through the scenario, all the different options, and the customer builds and designs their own court. We just kind of give a little feedback, head them in the right direction.
Yeah, well, we got the hoop, the rebounder, the volleyball net, the lights. We got everything on ours. And by the way, we only had a half court. We didn't have a full court because our yard wasn't big enough. But the thing I really liked about it, and you touched on it a bit earlier, once you do this, you know where your kids are. You actually know where all the neighborhood kids are, because everybody shows up at your house. And, you know, I think in today's world, where you don't know what's going on at a given point in time, just the comfort and safety level of having your kids there, being able to do something athletic, being able to be outside on this multi-purpose court is so invaluable. And it's
be the hangout house, right?
That's
be
right.
The place where all the kids. I tell our clients, your biggest problem is keeping the refrigerator stocked with water, Gatorade, and soda.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be over there. But it's more than just that. I mean, in sports, and I happen to marry my two passions. I was a builder, and I played every sport and played a little collegiate baseball. But sports develops life skills, right? You're outside, you're off your backside and in your backyard. You get a little vitamin D. You're learning friends. You're learning life skills. It's okay to win. It's okay to lose. How do you get better? We got to practice. You got to do this and that. And these are great investments in backyards, right? If you got kids that want to play in the local teams, whether it be soccer or baseball or basketball, even tennis, right? Why not hone the skills in the convenience of your own backyard? Because, you know, in sports, it's all about muscle memory and focus. And you got to do a lot of repetitive. Why did Michael Jordan shoot 500 free throws a day when he was 32 years old? That guy was already an icon, but he did it because he had to focus on muscle memory and focus. And this gives people the capability of doing that. The convenience of your backyard. You just open the back door, you're there. And of course, in Southern California, we got the perfect weather. And so you can play year-round, and there's always something fun to do. And let's talk about entertainment, right? Most people like yourself. And what you failed to mention, Fred, this is the second court I built for you.
That's
true.
true.
Your other house, I think you lived in
Tarzana.
Tarzana, there you go. And now you got something where we have friends and guests over. You might love basketball and volleyball, but they may be into pickleball, right? So there's always something fun to do. And it's kind of the entertainment. You can't swim all year round. We do get, dip below 70 degrees occasionally, but you can always play on your court. There's always something to do.
Dale, I don't think people understand, and sure, it's an investment. I mean, a sport court is an investment, but the value it brings to your home is something people don't talk about. Once you invest in something like that, it pays for itself 2 times if and when you sell your home.
Exactly. And people in California, I think the rule is that it moves every 7 years. But now, if let's say there's 2 homes on your block for sale and they were the exact same price for whatever reason and the same size and everything, but yours had a court in your backyard and the other did not, especially if someone's looking for homes and if they happen to see that you got something for the kids, oh, my gosh, you're going to be the first one that's going to be sold. And it's interesting because a lot of times we'll see advertising in real estate ads, 5-bedroom, 4-bath, pool, and a backyard multi-purpose court, right, or a pickleball court or a basketball court. And when you have that as part of the tagline of a real estate sales pitch, oh, my gosh. They don't talk about the carpet. They don't talk about how many garage doors you have. They talk about those amenities that really are attraction to families. And that's what Sport Court brings. We bring that extra added element to a backyard fun and recreation.
Dale Hendrickson is with us, SportsWest Construction, SoCal's largest sport court builder. Now, so you design them, you build them, you service them, and really, is there a backyard that is not big enough, or can you figure out something for everybody?
Well, you'd be surprised. We've built courts in backyards where the entire backyard was a court. Now, we don't highly recommend that, but these are people that were really into sports. But it's more than just backyards. We do a lot of commercial applications, too. We do gymnasiums, we do putting greens, we do synthetic grass, we'll do volleyball courts, and not just the flooring. We'll do hoop systems, wall mount, ceiling mount. We're a full service sports construction and sports surfacing, and that service that you mentioned, it was critical. So I have a complete service department. So we not only build the projects, but we service or maintain them over the years. And some of our products and our surfaces will last over 30 years. Granted, you have to stay on top of it. You got to stay on the top of the maintenance, keep them clean, keep them updated, tighten the bolts, make sure the nets are working. So we do that as well.
So if you have young kids that enjoy sports, if you have a middle schooler, if you have a high schooler, this really is something you have to have. And again, Dale did 2 of them for us. Our kids grew up playing on sport court. But what's really interesting to me as well is that you guys are in the community. You're not just doing it for people's homes or commercial businesses. You're out in the community as well, aren't you?
We do a lot of park and rec. We do a lot of community, commercial feedback. We'll do things like they'll bring in some of the big apparel companies will want to sponsor or invest in an inner city program. We do a lot of stuff with Nancy Lieberman and with Under Armour and Nike and IT&T, where they'll come in, they'll want to invest in areas, so they'll upgrade and beautify most often as a public park, but it might be a community that might have an indoor and outdoor gymnasium. We provide all the different services. So we really engage with those types of entities because they feel we deliver a really good product and we represent them well as well. So we're pretty excited about those kinds of relationships. Been doing it a long time, Fred, 36 years.
Yep.
I love the business. I got 60 employees. I got a lot of mouths to feed. But we build 500 or 600 projects a year in Southern California. We're the largest court builder, the largest builder that does sports construction and sports surfacing. And there's always options available, right? And the surface might not. I always tell people the perfect surface doesn't exist, never has existed, never will exist. But there may be a perfect surface for your application and a perfect hoop or a perfect rebounder or light systems. And so we are full service from the point we don't represent one particular brand, although Sport Court is a brand. It's a worldwide company based out of Utah, and we've been their exclusive distributor for 36 years, as I mentioned. We feel very confident that we can deliver almost any project for a backyard to have to enjoy entertainment and develop those life skills.
All right, so let's review this. First, it's Family Fitness Fun. SportsWest Construction, Family Fitness Fun. Be the hangout home. Kids will be over there. You'll know where they're at. It's a multi-generational play. You can do almost anything. You tell Dale and his folks what you want. They come up with it, and you can do more than one thing on the court. It's an investment for kids' athletic play. And look, if you listen and you have kids, every one of them is going to be a pro. We're aware of that. We know. My kids were the same way. Doesn't really happen that way, but you got to give them their best shot. They build backyard memories, and it increases your home value. It is the best. I swear by it. I swear by Dale, because we've worked with him a few times, and the stuff is fantastic.
Well, Fred, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, how many people have come to me after we've completed our project? They say, this has got to be the best investment I have ever made. My husband comes home early from work because my son wants to shoot hoops from him. There's always activity going on the court. You nail it. And here's something we need to find out. Fred, what did it do for your family? You've had 2 courts.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You know, my son Jack played college basketball.
Yep.
My son Josh played high school volleyball. And you know what? Every day, that multi-use court, that multi-purpose court, they were out there, both playing volleyball and basketball. Plus, it was a place where everybody came all the time. We were the hangout house. Kids would play out there. The lights were on, and I'd much rather have the kids playing basketball till 11 o'clock at night in my backyard where I can see them than running around somewhere where I have no idea where they're at. So believe me.
There you go.
I swear by it. And I'm just so glad you could come on today. Dale Hendrickson, SportsWest Construction.